This is my personal favorite. This guy is the Antichrist right here. He and the two
Stephen Miller,
Steves.
White House
Trump
Representative
is
Staff,
literally an
Homeland Security Advisor.
atheist.
Stephen, good to have
Pyro,
you with us. There's so much happening so quickly, but let me get your thoughts on.
he's not a Christian. Go ahead,
mentioned
David.
in the intro here, which is that the Trump administration is taking steps to deputize U.S. state and local law enforcement to work with ICE. How would that work? And clearly, there's going to be some cities where they're going to refuse to do that, right?
Yeah, so this is an example of how
Gone.
President Trump is
Gone,
unleashing
Alex.
a vast and broad
It's
array
gone.
of federal statutory authorities to secure the homeland. Authorities that Congress has enacted that exist in statute but that have never been used before. The Secretary of Homeland Security has the authority to deputize both federal law enforcement as well as state and local law enforcement and the National Guard to conduct immigration enforcement activity. The Secretary of Homeland
Perfect
Security
point.
has already
So,
used that
yeah,
authority to
literally
deputize
true.
other federal law enforcement, including all the law enforcement branches at DOJ. That authority will be leveraged shortly to deputize state and local law enforcement to conduct immigration arrests
Watch
as
it.
well.
Watch the
Additionally, there's an authority
inauguration.
known as 287G in the Immigration and Nationality Act. They'll be used to enroll National Guard operating in state capacity to assist and support the Border Patrol in the conduct of immigration enforcement.
No,
You've
Trump's
also
not a
seen
Christian.
referenced the military deportation flights that are taking place. For the first time in American history, under President Trump's command and control, military aircraft are being used to remove illegal aliens from this country
This
as part of a
fucking Nazi,
vast,
dude.
coordinated interagency operation to defend the homeland and repel the invasion. These are just some of the many authorities that President Trump has leveraged in his first days in office to end the migrant invasion of the U.S. homeland.
So I would just point out, we just played a clip in the tease, Stephen.
It doesn't matter.
2 clips of
He'll
President
say
Biden saying,
whatever
I don't have any more authority
to
on this.
gain
Congress is gonna have
favor.
to do something. But everything that you're pointing out, these are statutes that are on the books already. These are things that.
Oh no!
are
Like
happening
if he
also.
was
Homeland
okay,
Security-
hold on, pause it real quick. I need to respond to this guy. It doesn't matter if I don't like he could be a Christian all he wants, honestly. As long as he's actually a
Wait,
Christian.
your boy CNC Pyro is saying he has confessed himself he is a Christian time and time again.
Doesn't fucking mean shit.
Since when does Donald Trump word mean anything? Since when does his word mean anything?
Do you remember when he said 2 Corinthians instead of 2 Corinthians?
Second, yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah. When he was asked what his favorite Bible verse was, and he couldn't give a straight answer. When he was asked if he prefers the Old Testament or the New Testament, and he said, both. It's like he doesn't fucking know because he doesn't fucking care. He just appeals to evangelicals to get their vote. That's how it's always been. That's how it's always been.
Alex Easton made an interesting point, though. What about the $1 billion the Democrats spent on the campaign?
Yeah,
Alex, very good point.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the consulting class.
Yes.
And a lot of people got rich.
Yep.
Finding creative ways for Kamala to make, to spend all that money. They had the Sphere in Vegas going for Kamala. I mean, is that going to help you win votes
No,
as
it's
much
not.
as standing up for immigrants or talking about student loan debt forgiveness or universal health care? No, it's not going to matter. American
of course.
people are stupid, but they're not that stupid.
Yeah, I listen, we're not saying that Christians have to be perfect, that Christians have to be scholars and whatnot, but look no further than this week. Trump and JD Vance and all of MAGA world's reaction to that bishop that pleaded with Trump to show mercy on the vulnerable.
Hold on, I want to take care of Megan here real quick. Just saying, can you put up her chat?
Sure.
It says Megan says just saying no one is in a place to tell someone else how to practice their religion or that they're not a member for knowing enough. That's where you're wrong, because I've studied the New Testament in both an academic setting, in a Sunday school setting, and in an analytical setting for the many episodes that I did on the Who Are MAGA series, Bible Beaters. Check out that text, because if you actually do study the New Testament, it's very easy to figure out who the real Christians and fake Christians are. Yeah. And intuitively, what's a better way to destroy the integrity and the cultural and societal value of a religion that celebrates immigrants, that encourages people to treat each other with respect and love, right? Is it to take that religion straight on, or is it to act as if you are part of that religion and then fractionalize that religion? Because that's what conservatism has done. They have fractionalized Christianity into conservative Christians and real Christians, because you can't be a real Christian and be a conservative American. There is nothing Christian about American conservatism.
Bingo.
And it is, fuck you. I got mine. This is a Christian nation, which isn't true.
Secular.
And they try to put their values into our society so they can feel better about themselves. Not modern day American conservative Christianity, just like I say in one of my Who Are MAGA episodes, is narcissistic Christianity. It's not about Christ or his message. It's about them feeling like they're going to heaven because they're on the right team.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like, like you nailed it. You fucking nailed it so good that I forgot what I was actually going to say.
We can go back to
Like,
we can go back to Antichrist Miller if you want.
Yeah,
He's only got a couple more minutes.
No, of
Let's go
course.
back to this
fucking
this guy's a fucking gold mine for content.
no,
I
for real.
hate
This
him.
guy.
If
he wasn't the
would
fucking
give up my freedom
Antichrist,
to
he'd
beat
be a
the shit out of this guy.
he'd be a subservient to the fucking Antichrist. This fucking guy.
Employed. He could have done all of these things, correct?
Yes, every single authority that I've mentioned and many more.
The world's
were
brutal,
enacted by Congress.
Pyro.
The president went all the way back in 1798 to 2025 and identified every statute in existence that allows him to secure and defend the American homeland. So 1798, we have the Alien Enemies Act, which will be used shortly to remove illegal alien gang members such as Tren Derogua from the United States. Congress also passed Remain in Mexico Authority that President Trump was the first president in American history to use. As of today, Martha, that is operational. It is up and running, and we are using Remain in Mexico. President Trump is also reactivating our Safe Third agreements to end asylum fraud across the southwest border. And as mentioned earlier, President Trump is using all federal law.
Hold on, your chat's blowing up. I want to make sure.
No, yeah, you're right.
CNC Pyro. CNC Pyro, you have let your hate cloud your better judgment. Let me tell you something, man. My judgment informs my hate because
Yes.
my hate is righteous. You know why? Because there's nothing wrong with hating evil. And
Yes.
MAGA and Project 2025 is fucking evil. And if you don't agree with that, either go do your homework and try to figure it out on your own and figure out how wrong you are on your own, or find somebody else who you'll listen to.
No,
Because I
like,
can't help you.
no,
I can't help you if you think that there's anything Christian or good about MAGA trash Project 2025.
That's the fucking thing. That's really all this comes down to. I need every single one of you watching to understand right the fuck now. There is a reckoning coming between conservatism and Christianity. And this is a video that I actually have in the works. This is like, of course, I do my live streams. Me and Dieter do our show. This is the Left Coast. By the way, subscribe. I know there's like 15 to 20 of you guys watching. I really, really appreciate it. But the thing is, conservatives are going after that bishop for pleading with Trump to show mercy to the vulnerable. What the fuck do you think Jesus preached? I'm a fucking atheist. And even I understand that Jesus sees all of us as victims of sin. And it is not our place to judge. And to sit here and cheer on obvious atrocities carried out by false prophets like fucking Donald Trump is fucking disgusting. That is something you're going to have to reconcile with. Do you serve Donald Trump and MAGA, or do you serve your Christian God? Let's go ahead and continue with this.
So Ryan Lovett says, I love how heathen turds tell me I'm Christianing wrong. Yeah, I will, because I know what I'm talking about. And secondly, this Solenia has a very poignant point that she made. Of course, if you read the Bible, you would know Jesus said his disciples would be known by their works.
Yes. Yes.
Couldn't have said it better than myself,
Perfect.
Solenia. Think
Perfect.
Lovely to have you in chat. You sound
Yes.
like a fucking real Christian. That's what you sound like.
Absolutely.
Law enforcement
Yeah.
to support and assist in the identification and removal of priority illegal alien targets from the United States and out of the country. And of course, the Department of Defense has been unleashed both on the border and with respect to aircraft
We're
to
seeing
end
it.
the illegal immigration into our country.
It's
Because
extraordinary.
God
one of the
isn't
things that strikes me
actually
when I
real,
look at
Megan.
sound bites like the one we played
Just
on the
saying.
way in, where you have someone exiting the country who said, "I'm telling the messages don't cross. They're sending all of us back." And then I want to play this tape of a migrant who was taken into custody in the criminal roundup. Here's what he had to say. You may have seen this tape. I want to get your reaction to it. Let's watch.
I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama. For
There you
everything
go.
he did for me,
There you
bro.
go, Selenia. Yeah, that's
So Selenia, if you're
yeah, you're right.
not
Yeah.
not to not to mislabel you. I don't want to mislabel you. You sound like
the thing is,
so
you
sound like
understand.
you sound like you know more about the New Testament than a conservative Christian. How about that? Because
Yeah,
I'm not a
there you go.
Christian either, but I did my homework and I appreciate people
Yeah.
who did theirs.
Of
He
course,
says not
of
going back to
course.
Haiti after you heard what he said, and
He's going
cheering on
back.
Biden and Obama. What's your reaction to that? And what's the impact on people
No,
who were
no,
interested in
literally,
thinking, you know,
Ryan,
I'm going to try to get in?
Atheists literally know more about the Bible than Christians do, because there's like a lot of atheists I know wouldn't be atheists if they didn't read the Bible and realize it's full of not only contradictions, it's full of atrocities, and it's filled with it's just filled with nonsense. It's filled with fucking nonsense.
Well, the Old Testament is very much
Speaking of the
of
New Testament,
but the Old Testament is the kind of gets the reputation of brimstone and fire,
give us a
right?
break.
Like,
yeah,
but the Old Testament is very much of a vengeful God that's
Yeah.
described in the Old Testament, and the concept of forgiveness and that we are born into sin is actually, like, if you extrapolate some of the lessons of the New Testament, for example, confirmation bias is actually alluded to in the New Testament. Paul talked about it
yeah,
when he was talking about training the ministers. He said, you got to train your ministers right, because if you don't train your ministers right, then the followers are going to go follow some douchebag minister who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and preaches
Bingo.
the false word of God.
bingo.
So, I mean,
Bingo.
and you've got to kind of separate the gospels from Paul. Like,
Yeah.
And by the way, if you ever want to know if someone's a real Christian or has actually studied the text, ask them how many words there are for love in ancient Greek. Because if they don't know the answer to that question, then they don't understand the importance of interpretation
yeah,
of the original text. By the way, there are 6 words for love in ancient Greek. So
mhm.
you got to do your homework here, guys. Let
Yeah.
let the people who did their homework lead the way on these conversations, and not people like Ryan Lovett here who thinks he knows everything.
I literally would not be here today if it was not for the atheist community of the early 2010s. I'm talking about the people who took a look at the abundance of Christian rhetoric, not only in politics, but in society as well. And the lack of evidence to support the claims, yet these people want to hold jurisdiction and authority over an entire society. This,
It's narcissism.
yeah,
It's narcissism.
it's
They're not
projecting.
so they're not intelligent or talented enough to ascend to a position of power. So they would rather feel like their power that is influential in their life is on their same team, is part of their same culture.
No,
And I talk
yeah.
about it in one of my essays that superficial Christians, let's call them, they don't know the text. They want someone higher up on the social hierarchy to tell them what they think. So Ryan Lovett here
That's it. Yeah.
is in your chat. Ryan, let me talk to you directly. You have very low existential IQ. If you do know anything about intelligence, there's what's called, what's his name? Howard Gardner's 9 different forms of intelligence. Existential IQ is actually a form of intelligence. The big questions: why are we here? What are we supposed to do with our lives? Yada, yada, yada. You have such a low existential IQ that you cannot come up with those answers on your own, and therefore
the
are
Bible.
reliant to a 2,000-year-old text that you need interpreted for you, that you can't even interpret yourself because you don't have the academic credentials to do it yourself. So you go to church on Sundays and the preacher tells you to vote Republican because that's what good Christians do. when all that preacher is doing what he's told to do by the powers that be, because it's in his best financial interest for that to be the case too.
Yes.
So,
I
You know,
mean,
Ryan, and this is someone else said about judging. He said, I don't think atheists. Yeah, this is Megan. Okay, we like you, Megan, but I don't think atheists can judge real Christianity. So you guys should ideally move on. No, so I will judge Christianity
this is
because
where I come from.
This is a big word for Americans. Is judgment. This is a big word for Americans. Don't judge not, lest ye be judged. Right. Well, I say in the very first episode of my YouTube channel, feel free to judge me, because I'm going to be doing a lot of judging others. If you are less intelligent, less informed, and less so societally in tune with America, I'm going to call you an intellectually inferior person. If you think that MAGA is good for America, somebody just said, oh, he's done some good things. Trump's done some good things and some bad things. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Okay. You're living in denial.
This show wouldn't exist. This show literally wouldn't exist if I didn't come across Dieter's initial videos that he put out on his channel when he was first starting out his channel. I found it brilliant enough to be like, okay, let's link up, let's chat, and let's eventually it turned into this show. Like religion is literally like it's just the opium of the masses. Like there is so much hypocrisy among conservative Christians, especially, and that's why I said I think there is there's a reckoning coming, because there's so much contradiction between the ideals of these these self-proclaimed Christians and these self-proclaimed conservatives, that like how is this supposed to carry on? How are you supposed to look at?
Well, I do it like this. So we got. So there's someone we should bring up right now. His name's Benjamin Dixon, who is a very hardcore Christian and also a very hardcore lefty. And I respect him and his Christian identity, because he actually practices what he preaches. And the real authentic message of Christ is one of charity, is one of socialism, really. Give away all your possessions and follow me. So, I don't hate on religion per se. I hate on bad religion.
Yes.
I hate on religion when it's used as a political tool, which is what conservative Christianity is. And if you're ever talking to someone, see, this is what conservative Christians try to do. They try to say, well, show it to me in the Bible. Like, that's not what it says in the Bible. Or here's some more scripture. And they just have this one playbook that they draw from. And my challenge to them is, if you can communicate your values to me in a secular way, then I will respect them. If you have to use that 2,000-year-old text to explain your value system to me, I have no respect for it. Look at what has been done the Bible was used to justify slavery. Okay?
Yeah.
The Bible was used to justify slavery.
Yeah.
So shut up.
Also, the Bible permitted abortion.
Yeah. The honey potion or whatever.
Yep. The bitter water. Yep.
Yes, thank you, hell yeah, 9. Yeah, it really is that simple, isn't it? And we talked about this a bunch. The founding fathers, okay? They were all pretty well-educated people. And you know what a lot of that education had to do with? History, particularly Western European history, and the 300 years of religious wars that led up to the founding of America, that preceded the founding of America.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. They decided that they didn't want to bring that bullshit baggage across the Atlantic Ocean for their new country.
Yep.
It wasn't just about protecting the church from the corruption of the political institutions. It was about protecting both.
Yeah.
And basically saying what I just said a second ago, if you can't find a secular way to communicate your values or positions that derive from your religion, then I'm not going to respect them.
No, of
because
course.
those books that you're relying on were written a hell of a long time ago, and a lot of things have changed.
Yep.
Most obviously, the global economy in which we now live.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, like, so if everybody can understand, I know there's like 19, 20 of you watching. Make sure you subscribe. Keep up with us. It really means a whole hell of a lot. But listen, the only thing that the hardcore conservatives, the Republican Party, what have you, operate on are hypocrisy and double standards. And they will weaponize Christianity to whatever extent it will allow them to go. If there's something that they cannot justify, something that is inhumane, they will point to Christianity, they will point to the Bible, they will point to their faith as a justification, just like the fucking Nazis did in their dehumanization of the Jewish people.
Yeah.
There
by
is
the way,
there is no difference. I
is some-
defy
a lot
you
of
to
people-
tell me. I defy you to tell me what fucking difference there is.
So one of my crazy conservative friends, I'm not friends with him anymore, tried to tell me that Hitler was a Christian. And
wasn't.
I'm like, no, he wasn't. And
He
easiest
he
way-
utilized it to get
the
as
easiest,
a means to an end.
but he didn't really, it wasn't a big part of their propaganda.
Hey, have a good night,
and
Selenia. I really
he wa-
appreciate you joining in tonight. Have a good night. It really means a lot that you're here. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next stream.
Jesus was a Jew. Okay.
Yes,
Jesus was a Jew. There's no way Hitler was down with Jesus. Okay.
that's right,
Give me a
Megan.
break.
That's right.
CNC
That's right.
CNC Pyro, by the way, I want to take this guy on because he's funny. This is blasphemy, guys. I will pray for the good Lord rebukes you quickly for this. Yeah, well, keep your prayers for yourself, dumbass, because you're voting against your economic interests and
Yeah.
by voting Republican, unless you're a 1%er with an investment portfolio.
For every MAGA type, for every Trump supporter that's in here, I want to know exactly what you think about the Stargate initiative that was announced by Donald Trump on day 3 of his second term, alongside Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, and some other guy who I forget the name of. The announcement of $500 billion over time being invested into AI. And then Larry Ellison going on to say, with this incredible breakthrough of technology, with this investment, with this breakthrough in AI, we can create cancer vaccines based on mRNA that can be personalized for every single American. What the fuck do you think about that? I want you to reconcile with that. I want you to go and watch that that announcement, that committee, like between all of them. I want to know what you all think of that. I'm genuinely curious, because that, above anything, above the fucking multitude of things that Trump has done in his first week, I want to know especially what MAGA thinks of that.
All right, do you want to go back to Miller?
Let's go back. Let's finish that off, and then we'll do the China thing.
4 years of national humiliation and embarrassment are over. Illegal aliens are no longer exempt from our laws. Far from it. They are the priority for immigration enforcement, for law enforcement in this country. And so that illegal alien you mentioned, he's being shipped back. And every single illegal alien that is identified for removal is going to be successfully removed from this country. We are not going to allow the trespass and invasion of this country anymore. And the Department of Justice is going to aggressively use its authorities to prosecute immigration crime. Child traffickers are going to be going to jail for decades. Human smugglers are going to be put behind bars.
Okay.
Individuals engaged in sex
Okay.
trafficking are going to spend the
Based.
rest of their lives on this planet in jail and behind bars.
Based.
Local
Okay.
officials who violate our laws are
Okay.
also
Does
subject
that
to enforcement
does that
of our immigration
include?
laws.
I mean, we have
So
gangs.
every resource we have is
Yeah.
going to be deployed and it's going to be used, Martha.
I love the message that's going to gangs who have made even more money on trafficking people than drugs in recent years. 16 states have known gang presence and cartel
Thank you,
operations
Ryan.
in them. But I wanted to
I
say
really
something that,
appreciate your
we just got
engagement.
moments ago from ABC is reporting this, and that's all I've got on it so far. ICE agents denied entry to a Southside elementary school in the Chicago public school system, and they're saying that they followed protocols, the principal says, and did not allow the agents inside. Are you aware of that situation, and is that something that is acceptable? We've heard about schools and churches as situations.
There's no sanctuary for criminal aliens in this country, nor is there a sanctuary for child trafficking, for child smuggling, for child endangerment. ICE officers will take the actions necessary to protect the lives and safety of our children and to identify individuals who are involved in the smuggling and trafficking of our children. In order to conduct these investigations, in order to protect the safety and security of children all across America, federal law enforcement needs unrestricted access to conduct basic investigations.
Sorry.
500,000 children were trafficked. in
This
under Joe
Ryan
Biden.
guy is
That is a
really
stain on our national
fucking
conscience,
funny,
a stain on our
dude.
history. It's ending now. And the Department of Justice, working with the Department of Homeland Security, is going to prioritize the end of human trafficking, the end of human smuggling, and the entire machinery of government is going to be used to stop the cartels, to stop the coyotes, to stop the traffickers, to stop the smugglers from preying on our citizens and exploiting our country. We are not going to be trampled
All
anymore.
lies,
We're
by
not
the
going to be
way.
trampled anymore.
All
We're
total
certainly not going to
bullshit.
be abused and violated anymore. We're going to be a free country again, Martha.
Well, it's
Who's uglier, Ben Shapiro or Stephen Miller? God
Stephen
is
Miller.
speaking of God. God
Stephen-
is telling you.
and the
God
thing
is
is-
telling you that this guy is evil just by looking at him.
I mean,
Okay.
the thing is, like,
Sometimes the looks are actually all you need to use to judge someone. And when it comes to Ben Shapiro, Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, the whole Trump family, all you got to do is look at him and be like, "Yep, those motherfuckers are evil."
yeah, the thing is, like Ben Shapiro, if he never would have like gotten into like hardcore conservatism, he'd be a decent looking guy. He'd be a funny guy. He'd be a guy like that would be like unintentionally fucking funny.
Who?
Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like,
something that we
I actually I find his take on every single Star Wars movie so far actually kind of interesting. But like the fact that he's also like a fucking dumbass and will like simp for the Republican Party, like the fact that he fucking downplayed the Elon Musk Sig Heil says everything you fucking need to know. But oh my god. Megan, yes,
too
no,
much of a
I
blind eye
do
to the-
kind of like Shapiro, but not for his political takes. For the most part, I will tell you that.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro's evil. He's evil.
He really is,
and
yeah.
the abuse of children and the slave labor that is going on in some of these factories
Heinous.
in the Southwest. And I look forward to talking to you more about that. Stephen Miller, thank you very much.
Okay, Sage, whatever you
All
say.
We got any more of your?
I got a
friends
lot.
here?
I got a lot. I got a lot of
Let's see,
funny
Sage.
ones.
Sadly, most individuals such as yourself miss Jesus' greatest miracles hidden in plain sight.
Hidden
And they're
in plain
all-
sight.
This verified through his story. The son of a poor carpenter is covered more. Yeah, just so you know, the New Testament, as you have been taught it, is a patriarchal story
Yep.
designed to keep you in your place. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, Siege, but you got caught up in the self-righteous bullshit and you've been told that you're special and you're not.
Yeah, for real. Hey, thanks for
You're not
tuning in,
special.
Invisible American. It means a lot that you're tuning in. We see you. We appreciate you. We love the engagement, and yeah, we do got a fucking we got a crazy 4 years ahead of us, Dieter. Like that's like undeniable for sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's gonna be painful, and I think that the most reasonable expectation is that it's gonna be 2028 will be a lot like 2008 and a lot like 2020, where things get so bad that no matter who the incumbent is, the incumbent party is going to lose.
Mhm.
So it'll probably be either Newsom,
Literally?
maybe Wes Moore out of Maryland, but Newsom seems like he's the one who's up next.
No, a fucking course. As unfortunate as it is, fuck Gavin Newsom. Can't stand this fucking elitist coastal fucking Democrat ass. It really does. It really is unfortunate, honestly. The fact me and Alita, thank God for Lord I wine. No kidding. I ran out, so I decided to open up my fucking Andre wine cocktails. It was a pineapple mimosa. It's literally like a fucking sparkling mimosa thing. And oh shit.
This is a good point.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Nine's got a good point. Both parties just set each other up for the next term. It's a nightmare. Hey,
Yeah. No,
You
yeah.
might be right, Mayor. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Hell yeah.
I mean,
Nine,
seriously,
that's-
like, what are the Democrats doing? Honestly,
I mean, based on the Democrats' capitulative behavior, I'd be
Yep.
inclined to agree with you, man.
like,
I'm
their
inclined to
their
agree with
total
you.
fucking absence, like for
No
the moment.
backbone.
Yeah, there's literally fucking worms All of them.
Well, I mean,
Fucking worms.
the APAC funding is enough to get you to figure out that one institution's giving to so many politicians is kind of a microcosm for what's wrong with our system, which is money in politics.
Yeah.
And you've got crackheads on your chat talking about how Jesus is Lord and that's what makes me a Republican, and they don't even they take that at face value.
Listen, guys. Jesus and the Christian God, they aren't real. They're fake. They're made up.
Well,
they are mind control.
In fairness, Jesus probably existed. And
Maybe.
Whether or not.
Maybe.
So what the likely situation, the likely story of Christ was that it was multiple people, and then all the stories became one. All the stories became one person.
Yin yang.
But,
yin yang right here.
Yeah, Ryan's going after you aesthetically.
Right. No, as tends to happen when they have no fucking argument, but it happens. It's just whatever.
Oh yeah, Nine says I would like to see a direct democracy.
Me
We all
too.
have a cell phone where we could vote on everything. Yeah, man. I don't know
That'd
about
be
using
great.
technology to administer the elections.
It's inevitable.
But yes, we should have a direct democracy. And in places like Australia, you have to vote. You
Yes.
actually get fined if you don't vote.
I like that. I
there
really,
we go.
really
Ryan
like
Lovett.
that.
Ryan Lovett again. See, this is a good example. I'm glad Ryan's getting so talkative because this is the kind of Christian bully that you run into on the right, where they
Mhm.
think they know everything, and as soon as you go directly after their core belief system, which is their religion, they throw temper tantrums like children. Because
No, yeah.
intellectually speaking, that's what they are.
No, yeah,
you're a child,
this is,
Ryan. No one respects you. No one respects you.
Yeah,
who
like-
has an education.
This is literally where I come from. I would not have gotten into politics if it wasn't for the early atheist movement of the early 2010s. Like it really like the prime directive for me. I need everybody to understand the prime directive for me is like if there's no evidence backing your claims that is inarguable and unfalsifiable, I have every right to dismiss it because extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I remember in 2014 when Bill Nye went against creationist Ken Ham. That was a very significant cultural turning point for not only me but a lot of people, because if you're trying to like use science to justify the Bible like Ken Ham did, and you go against actual evidence, 480,000 years of ice core samples, among countless other things that were brought up by Bill Nye in that debate, you're not going to convince anybody. That's where I come from. And of course, this extends to fucking politics. I believe in the reduction of harm reduction in general, and like I can't stand the Democratic Party. Neither me or Dieter. We can't fucking stand the Democrats. We criticize them all the time because of their fecklessness, their spinelessness, their out of touchness, if that's even a fucking term. Because we care about people. We know where the problems are and what the solutions are. But the problem is,
And that's not what makes us special. Just to be
yeah,
interject
like
really quick.
it doesn't make us special.
That doesn't make
at
that
all.
doesn't make us special. What does make us special is advocating for a different political strategy to get those solutions.
Yes,
That's what we're advocating for here. Is an
it's not in
aggressive,
this current system.
unapologetic, non-violent sociocultural revolution akin to the civil rights movement, because that's what's required, y'all. That's what's required. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you want to, Ryan, by the way, Ryan Lovett, go ahead and check out Jesus's thoughts on the rich. and
Yeah.
immigrants and tell
Yeah.
me he would be a fucking Republican in today's America, you idiot. God,
Yeah.
know your text, dude. I would smoke you in a debate, and I haven't done that. I haven't
That's
gotten
the
back
thing.
into the New
That's the
Testament
thing.
for a year,
That's the
and I still
fucking
know
thing.
scripture better than you.
People like Ryan, like these debates have existed for over a decade. These exact debates have been around for a long ass time. They have been settled. If you don't understand like who comes out on top and who has the better arguments, you need to look back on the history of YouTube between atheists or between scientists and creationists and Christians and Catholics, whoever the fuck. And decide for yourself. Look back on Aaron Ra, on Genetically Modified Skeptic, on The Amazing Atheist, on Bill Nye, on fucking Christopher Hitchens, on Sam
Or just
Harris.
know your, or just study history and
For
look at
crying
the
out loud,
amount
for
of violence and
real.
war and death that has
Thank you,
been
Braven.
waged in the name of God. More people have been killed in the name of God than any other reason. So give me a fucking break. Dude.
Cheers for real, honestly. I guess
So Megan said we don't know the solutions though. It's we don't maybe know all the solutions, but we know quite
we
a few
don't
of them.
claim to. We don't claim to know all the
Right,
solutions.
but we do know.
either.
But we do. But I was just saying that doesn't make us special. There are plenty of smart policy advocates out there who have the same, who know a lot more about universal healthcare than we do.
Yeah.
You know, for example, this is a good example actually of healthcare. So I want to evolve the political strategy surrounding healthcare and the political marketing surrounding it to being not just Medicare for all, because a lot of doctors don't like Medicare. It should be Medicare for all or something better.
Yes.
Like those little, that's kind of what we do here is we take the good policy and add salesmanship to it. How do we sell this policy to the American public? And that's the antithesis of what Richie Torres was just advocating for,
Right.
which is basically just give the baby his bottle. Yeah, the baby being the voters, they're whining for their bottle, so give them their bottle, which they think is a hardline, heartless southern border policy. That's what they think that the citizens want. It's not. People want an immigration system that makes sense. People want someone to stand up for these poor goddamn immigrants who are slaving away and don't have time to contribute to the public discourse because they're too busy slaving away 2 or 3 jobs. They don't have any time.
Yeah. Listen, Ryan, if you can demonstrate in this chat for all of us right now the unfalsifiable proof and evidence that God exists, we will welcome it. In the meantime, I think
so. The only way, so I can actually do that for you within the context of evolution. So, so
otherwise
the
we'll
problem,
move on.
The problem, we can move on after this, but let me just get this in because it's it's no,
of course.
I want people to take this with them.
Yeah.
But okay, so the problem with evolution's connotation and the way that we use it in public discourse is that there's the subtext of progress, right? If something is evolved, it is superior to that which came before. Not true. Evolution just means an adaptation to the environment. Now, the vehicle for evolution is randomness, right? The randomness of genetic mutation.
Yeah.
Those mutations are either beneficial or disadvantageous for the organism. And so the strength of species, scientists can use better language than I can to come up with it. But basically,
the mammals
it's
came
the
along.
randomness.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the
dinosaurs.
randomness of cell regeneration that is the vehicle for evolution. That randomness is something that science can't really explain. So if you want to say that the randomness is God, okay, fine. That works as long as you're not overstepping and saying evolution is God. We can have a conversation. As long as your religion motivates you to be kind to your neighbor, as long as you are actually living what the word preaches, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I got no problem with that. That's why Buddhists are the best, man, because Buddhists are all about like individual responsibility for your own shit. All right, hell yeah, has got another one. Our government should help the other governments create a homeland they wouldn't want to leave. Well,
Yeah.
that actually it was a big reason why there was a surge under Trump's first administration for immigrants at the southern border was because we cut off aid to places like Guatemala and El Salvador.
Yeah, no, I agree. Megan, complexity of the human eyeball, that happened over the course of millions upon millions of years.
Yeah, that's a cliche. That's
yeah,
something Christians.
it
that's something
is a
of-
cliche.
a lot of
Like
stop
creationist,
fighting with science. Stop fighting. Science is not. See,
it's
this is the problem.
creationist talking point.
Science is not trying to pick a fight with religion. Religion is trying
No.
to pick a fight with science.
That's how it's always been. That's how it's been as long as I fucking followed. Like again,
since Darwin, really.
no, for
since
real.
Darwin came along.
Yeah,
really.
no, for real. I would not be into politics if it wasn't for the early atheist movement of like the early 2010s, because like it really does come down to like show your fucking evidence, show your like show facts, like shit that I like any logical and reasonable person is like incapable of arguing with, incapable of proving wrong. Like it's literally that simple. That's where like a lot of like where I come from, at least like it's where I'm fucking motivated, honestly.
One thing that and I'll move on to what you want to talk about, StatPat, but just like
yes.
to give people the
Stop
rights-
checking off the Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, there's a reason why he had his own fucking show. Like, I have the Cosmos DVD. There's a reason why he's so renowned. Like, of course, he's kind of a pompous ass nowadays, but like,
whatever. He's smart and he knows what he's talking about.
yeah, exactly.
I don't have
like,
I don't have a problem. I don't have a people mistake confidence for arrogance. It's like if you've done your homework, if you've done your homework and you know what you're talking about, and you quickly realize that the person you're talking to doesn't know as much as you do, chances are you're going to come across as arrogant, maybe even a little superior. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really? Don't you
Yeah.
want superior intellects in positions of power?
Yeah, no.
This guy Ryan Lovett is so fucking hilarious, man.
No,
He's doing
I
wonders for the
love
chat.
him. I hope he's subscribed, and I hope he tunes into our future streams. Okay,
But just
so-
the approach though is when you're dealing with these kinds of people, y'all, for those progressives out there that get frustrated talking with conservatives,
Mhm.
is the way to really do it is to just ask good questions and keep them talking, because they're not interested in your opinion,
they
and
are
eventually they'll trip
They are
over their
not.
own logic.
no, of course. That's usually
Keep 'em
how it
talking.
goes. Yeah,
Keep them talking.
yeah.